Even now, after a Somali migrant is accused of 5 counts of attempted murder in a terrorist attack in Edmonton, Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale says he's confident that Canada's immigration and refugee vetting system is working just fine. But now we know that after being ordered deported in 2011 from the United States, the accused terrorist Abdullahi Sharif was still able to come to Canada because, according to Canadian immigration rules, he met our eligibility requirements. When asked by reporters if the blame for the Edmonton attack should fall on the shortcomings in Canada's immigration and refugee vetting system, Goodale said, and I quote, "There's absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. The investigation is ongoing, but that conclusion is just not supported by facts." Here's why I don't believe Goodale. The accused terrorist, Abdullahi Sharif, was first investigated in Canada for terrorist ties in 2015. At the same time, a study of Western foreign fighters for the Islamic State, conducted by the University of Waterloo, said that Alberta generated as many terrorism suspects as Quebec and Ontario. And in 2015, Edmonton Police Chief Rod Connect also said that the EPS was struggling to keep up with the number of terrorism suspects already in Edmonton. This is a fact the mayor of Edmonton and the premier of Alberta have never publicly commented on, not even once. Our friend Candice Malcolm wrote an expose in the Toronto Sun detailing how an internal memo within Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada detailed how Syrian refugees were issued government documents that included misspellings, incorrect dates of birth, and even incorrect genders. This raises real concerns about the quality of the vetting process for refugees in Canada. And after 2015, when Trudeau took power, low-risk refugees like Christians and Yazidis facing genocide were no longer prioritized by the federal government. Just look at this crazy response Justin Trudeau gave the media when asked about Harper's policy of prioritizing refugees. Here.
Under a Liberal government would prioritize ethnic and religious minorities.
Absolutely not.
So now, under Prime Minister Trudeau, we have fewer low-risk refugees at the front of our refugee lines. But I have another reason to not believe Ralph Goodale when he assures me that Canada's refugee and immigrant vetting process is working. The accused terrorist was ordered deported from the United States in 2011 by an immigration judge in San Diego. When he was released from the custody of the U.S. immigration officials to be deported at a later date, Sharif disappeared and then fled to Canada and claimed refugee status here. Worse still, Canadian officials knew about his 2011 detention and deportation order in San Diego. In a statement, Goodale's office said officials were aware of Sharif's detention in the United States, but since Sharif was deported without allegations of criminality, he was able to meet Canada's requirements for refugee admissibility. So despite Ralph Goodale's assurances, we know that the Edmonton police were overwhelmed already in 2015 with suspected Islamic State terrorists. We also know that the immigration system is currently overwhelmed by an influx of 32,000 migrants claiming asylum, many crossing the border from the United States the exact same way Sharif did. We also know Sharif was able to come into Canada while under a United States deportation order at a time when the vetting process in Canada was stronger and longer, and yet he was still missed in the refugee screening process. So how can we as Canadians feel safe when there are more migrants, less vetting, and a public safety minister who just won't admit that the immigration system has failed to keep us safe from terror? For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunreid. The CBC gets $1.5 billion a year to bring you the news. Instead, they bring you the truth about Justin Trudeau's socks. If you believe in our journalistic mission, go to theycan'tstopus.com.